So in this week's episode, I definitely made another mistake with the name. So, at one point I referred to... Well, we're debating on who it was that created Domino, the character. And I, for some reason I said Jim Morita, which is definitely not who it was, because Jim Morita is actually a fictional Marvel Comics character.
Oops.
He was one of the Howling Commandos. It was actually Rob Liefeld, who...
That is correct.
Who's the bad feet drawer, and
that I can verify, even though I was also not able to identify.
Yes, that was who Tracy actually told me a couple days ago when we mentioned it, and I went ahead and was trying to find out that to see if I was right or not, and turns out Jim Morita, Jesus Christ, Rob Liefeld can't draw realistic women either. But I'll let you guys all investigate that for yourself.
Yep.
Thank you.
Password?
Shirt cocking it.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, why thank you.
Buy the cheap shit again. It tastes like this. Look at these two fucking ass clowns walking in like they own the place.
Doing a show here.
Goddamn millennials. Welcome to the Yancy St Speakeasy, episode number 14.
I walked right into that.
I'm Max.
And I'm Tracey, and I got caught sipping my coffee.
Slurping, more like.
Slurping.
Yeah.
Here.
It's so enjoyable that he has to slurp it. Alright, good. We've just lost half our viewership already.
Beautiful. We're here. We're ready for us to talk at you about movies we've seen.
Yes, movies that we've seen recently, as it were. So this is a two-parter. It's a single podcast, but we're talking about two different movies. Both.
They're pretty unrelated.
Yeah. Very unrelated. But first off, we're going to talk about Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
And second of all, we're going to talk about Solo.
The Star Wars. Is it Star Wars so
Yes.
I'm really enjoying the Star Wars stories, like, thus far. It's been the Rogue One. Rogue One is still probably in my top 3 kind of stories in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, it definitely, especially at parts, is one of my favorites, no doubt. And I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
So I really want to watch it a second time. Soon. I wanted to give it some time, and now I'm going to go back to it sometime soon.
Yeah, that one just had great acting, great representation of the franchise and of the peoples, and it was an engaging story, even though you kind of had a suspicion how it was going to end.
You're right. Well, we're not here to talk about that film. That's a later date.
Yeah, and not about the...
We'll delve into the Star Wars universe a little bit more some other time. But today, specifically, these are sort of reactions. I think that maybe something we'll do is call our videos that come out sort of pretty soon after a release a reaction.
Yeah.
And then we may do reviews on them a little bit later. We did that for Infinity War. We probably won't do all of our official reviews quite so soon, but that's such a big time movie for us that we couldn't help ourselves.
I know, and I know a lot of people might have been very interested in hearing our just home from the theater reactions from these movies, but I personally enjoy the time to kind of gather my thoughts on the subject.
Yeah, I think it helps. It helps,
and it allows.
Plus, they get out late, and I'm an old man.
we are both old men. I've been going to bed at I'm hanging out with you too much. I'm going to bed at 9:30 every day.
It's good for you.
I know. What's happening to me? My 18-year-old self would have been so disappointed in me.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're all disappointments of ourselves.
And also, just as a cover my bases, sorry if you hear me sniffing and coughing. I've been not dealing very well with the seasonal changes down here, and my sinuses are still going haywire.
Yep. And so, before we dive in, we're gonna do our traditional self-plugging.
Oh baby.
Yep. Self-plugging.
And I'm gonna make the traditional self-plugging jokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be right without them.
What color is your plug?
Well, my first plug is red for because in honor of Deadpool.
In honor of Deadpool.
And my second plug I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Han fired first. Anyway.
So, first off, please come check out maxdean.org.
At maxdean.org.
Yes. It's a slowly developing website with some artwork by Tracy LaFrance, some specifically artwork that is concept art for a comic book series that we are putting together.
I did the things.
He did the things, and you can see the things that he did.
Yeah.
And also you can listen to all of our podcasts. Soon we'll be putting up some more artwork by Tracy that's not necessarily original characters, but some more general artwork.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I've just recently completed some very. I went back to my fine arts roots. Bear with me, people, when you do see my digital artwork. I'm very, very new to the digital medium.
coming along very well, if I may say.
Oh, thanks, babe. It's I went back to a little bit of pen and paper, pencil and paper, and I did everything I used to do was purely realism, just drawing people's faces, portraits.
Yeah, we got to get that
nature.
that picture of Jessica Jones you did up there.
Yeah,
that's some pretty good realism right there.
Yeah, I've been working on that, and I've been working on a compilation of the Defenders in general. I've been binge watching the Netflix Street Level Hero series on. And enjoying them immensely, minus Iron Fist, and just that.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, bear with me. I hope you enjoy the artwork. I'm going to plug my own Instagram as well in a second after I let you get done with the website.
Okay, so yeah, as far as maxdean.org goes, soon we will be doing some promos and maybe some plot synopses for the upcoming comic book series, so that soon you'll have kind of an idea of what it's about and who some of the characters are.
I've had some randos actually, rando Calrissian. I'm sorry. I've had some folks that I have no idea who they are on the internet actually come ask me. Like I posted pictures of Jetlag and the Atlantean, and they were like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, I'll never tell.
Yeah.
You'll have to see our original comic.
We're gonna create a little bit of hype, hopefully for it, because I'm really excited. The best part about this entire thing has been seeing characters that we're creating come to life, like see them real, see them become real, and even on our storyboards, even though the storyboards are pretty basic sketches.
Yeah.
You can see them lifelike. It's really, really fun. I'm having a great time with it.
I am too. Well, just and the artwork for me, like the artwork's already in my head, so I've already seen them in my head a million times. So I'm like starting to just because I've been working with the characters, trying to consider what their mannerisms, what the minutia of their visual detail. Their appearances would be. I've been finding myself getting more intimately familiar with them in my brain, like in the way that I am with Marvel superheroes. Like I've been thinking of them on the same level because we've been working with them so often. It's really cool to what would so and so do? What would so and so think of this?
Yeah,
I've been
right.
starting to get into that mindset. It's been fun.
So, hopefully we're going to be getting some more artists in the fold. I'll pass any information along to you guys if you're curious.
And feel free to check out, again, maxdean.org, at maxdean.org, at maxdean.org. And my Instagram is Viva La Frank, with a 3 at the end. It's supposed to be Viva La France. Didn't get there in time, so the E at the end of France is a 3. And I will be posting original and ongoing art projects, and I'm going to put out some. I still haven't got around to this. I'm going to put out some payment scalings for if you guys want to send me requests for commissions and such. Yeah.
So basically, the website is more generalized. It's got a whole bunch of different things, including the podcasts, and then Tracy's Instagram is going to be all his original art. It's going to be updated with art probably a little bit more frequently.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of awesome stuff on there.
Please slide into our DMs. We love feedback. We want more audience interaction.
Yeah, we would love more audience interaction. The downloads are starting to build up a little bit more quickly, and that's really exciting for us. And so if you guys do want to be part of the podcast, we would love for you to email us at maxwelldean@maxdean.org. You can ask us questions, just send us generalized feedback. If there's something that you want us to review, we'll totally take suggestions. If there's something that you want us to read aloud on the podcast, we'll definitely do that.
I am more than happy to do shout-outs. None of...
Gotta do another shout-out to our Idaho downloaders.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know who you are out there, but we appreciate you.
Can I also... Just one quick observation. I am way more comfortable now that we don't have the video up.
Yeah, so we tried doing a video cast, and it was awkward.
It was
we kept
very
looking at ourselves. We're very self-conscious.
Yeah, fixing my hair. I think that if we ever did...
It ended up looking like alfalfa at the end, because he just...
I picked my nose all the time during the podcast. I'm scratching my own asshole, and it's just
sometimes he scooches on the ground like a cat with worms.
I'm just like doing that while I'm like on my ass scooching forward. I'm like, yes, I think the metaphysical limits of Deadpool are up for question. What do you think in your professional opinion, Max? And I'm just like,
I think there's a big brown streak on the floor.
I was just about to say.
Oh God. Okay, so now that we've done our plugs.
I'm sorry, I had to get all the giggles out. That's such a great image. Anyway,
we're going to talk about Deadpool 2 first of all.
I can't keep saying the electric boogaloo. It's gonna get old.
No, that is a joke that it's done.
It's dead.
It's dead on a tombstone.
We killed it because we killed it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway. We have tried several times to talk about Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool's been a weird topic for us because the first time we we tried it and we're like, this is just bad content. This is garbage.
Yeah,
and then the second time we tried it with the video, and it was bad content plus the awkward video.
Yeah.
So we're like, I kind of came to the conclusion that we were trying to be too funny. Like, we were trying to match the pacing of Deadpool, and it's not possible.
No,
it's just not our style.
Those guys write. Yeah, you were saying those guys spent probably a year writing all of those one-liners and the quips and the good stuff, and we're just this is just mouth sewage.
Yeah.
That we're spewing. We have a very vague idea of what we want to talk about beforehand. We're just letting our natural charm and charisma seep through. Please. And hoping you guys just enjoy what we have to say. So we were trying way too hard to be funny, and we're trying to fourth wall break. We're trying to do behind the scenes shit. And we ended up just being like just this back and forth of just potty humor, weirdness, awkwardness,
it just wasn't good. Anyway, so this time it's going to be really fucking fantastic. We're at the top of our game. I have coffee in my system now. Max makes incredible coffee, and I'm ready to talk about our good old friend Wade Wilson. Really enjoyed this movie. I think it was in most ways better than the original. Yeah, I think that the first one was more fun just because it was kind of fresher.
Yeah, and just the whole feeling of holy shit, this finally happened.
Holy shit, it finally happened. Holy shit, it's done well.
Yep.
Holy shit, I like the things I'm seeing on the camera. I can't believe. The first time I ever saw it, I didn't see this one in theaters, the Deadpool one. Yeah. I was sitting on my couch, and I think my wife was making breakfast or something like that, and I was laughing so hard in the first 5 minutes, laughing like I haven't laughed since I was a kid.
Both films have come out of the gun so strong.
Yeah, and so I pulled my wife over, I started it over, and I said, you are watching this with me. So, I think the moment that I knew she needed to watch it was when he got shot in the asshole on the bridge.
Oh my god.
But anyway, that's the first one. This is the second one. That's why there's a 2 after.
I only have 3 bullets left, so you're all gonna have to share. Fucking just, oh man, yeah. Those movies are really great. The one this movie, the first movie was a romance movie. It was. Or it's self-promoted as a romance movie, and it was fantastic because at the end of the day, it ended up being just a boy wanting a girl to love him.
It was a romance movie. It was a little bit more angsty. There was a little bit more mean-spiritedness in it. Yeah. In this one, there was so much heart. So much heart.
Both of them had a lot of heart. This one brought it back all about family, and I was just like, for every moment that there was just in-your-face, fourth-wall-breaking craziness, explosions, blood and gore and whatever.
And dick jokes.
And dick jokes, potty talk. It immediately pulled it right back to, like, something really weirdly heartwarming and meaningful. It did have a lot of heart to it. The first one did too, but this one...
Yeah, the first one did, but it was a different style of heart. This one... Well, you know, like he says it right in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
In a very humorous way. This is a family movie, and it's not
as he's
cheesy.
Chainsawing a dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that whole scene, really early on, he there's a whole montage of him crime fighting, showing how his reputation and his contracts have grown in size and scale. And just, it ends with this fantastic scene. It's very weird to watch, because the one dude that he's going after is running in slow motion
towards the camera
as all of the chaos happens in the background at regular speed, with Deadpool moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, moving kind of faster than everyone else, and also monologuing.
And also monologuing and just beating the shit out of a meth lab full of dudes. And is that what it was?
I don't know. It was a bad guy place.
It was a bad old hideout.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Secret bad man.
They could have been doing all kinds of stuff. Could have been human trafficking. Could have been meth. Could have been
poker.
Could have been fucking
Don't play poker,
greeting
kids.
card writing. You know, because those guys, they're evil.
The truest sin.
Yeah.
Write your own fucking material, people. Be genuine. And I'm sorry, that was really...
We might have some viewers who really like buying
that was way
cards.
more aggressive. I've always kind of like, I you know what, I buy like my Hallmark greeting cards like as much as the next one, but I always like kind of chastise myself afterwards.
I do prefer, if I buy anything with writing on it, I add like substantial amount of writing.
Exactly.
Well.
Like,
I don't just put I would say that. I stole that joke from somebody from Jim Gaffigan, I think. But
Jim Gaffigan's great. You're paying $2 to buy something that somebody put like 2 seconds of effort into writing over top of a picture of like a mountain lily or something.
Deadpool would definitely murder those people.
Oh, 100%.
For a contract.
Yeah. We brought it back.
Yeah.
That was a solid high five.
Yep.
We did it.
We're getting better.
We no more of that. No more of that. Cold, like no more of those like cold fish high fives.
Yeah.
Just the way, just like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, none of that.
No, only the sharpest.
I hope you guys could hear my wet fish.
Your wet flopping fish.
My wet floppy fish high fives.
So, after the intro scene where Deadpool does some pretty violent things and tells us that it's going to be a family movie, we get a quick little scene where the person that he was going after ends up murdering Vanessa.
Yep.
That's her name, right?
Vanessa.
Yeah. Played by one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
Oh, she's amazing. What's her name again?
Marina Baccarin.
I love everything she's in. I love her. I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. She is the closest to an actual Disney princess I think I'll ever see in my lifetime. And I can never remember her goddamn name. But I love you. I hope you got the letters that I wrote you.
Well, seeing as they were addressed to no one, he just left the front of the letter blank, put it in the mail.
Do you ever get like do you ever have like one of those it's just one of those facts or one of those names that like you forget, and then like when you realize you've forgotten and you're just like very poignantly aware that you forgot it, and then somebody tells you and you're like, oh, I'm never forgetting that, and then just floats right back out your ear.
All 3 times that we've tried to talk about Deadpool, Tracy's like, what's her name?
Miranda Baccarin. Burt Bacharach. Burt Bacharach, you're beautiful.
So after that, Deadpool. Well, actually, in the very first scene, Deadpool blows himself up.
He blowed up
by tossing his cigarette into a multiple 10-gallon drums of gasoline.
Yeah.
And then he tells us why, but with his little montage ending in Vanessa's death.
Fuck Wolverine.
Yeah. Fuck Wolverine. In this one, I'm dying too, buddy.
I'm dying in the end too.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Then
Vanessa dies.
Then Vanessa dies. Then we fly right into this really well done James Bond style theme song.
Oh my god. That was definitely one of the biggest highlights of the movie.
I think so too. Because it was so all over the place in the beginning. I was like, yeah, in overload, and then they fly into that, and I'm like,
yeah, it's like
I just settled down. This is exactly what I want.
They really toy with your emotions. Like you're ready for, you're ready for. It starts off silly, so you're ready for silliness, and then it immediately switches over to a really touching scene of them deciding that, her presenting him the gift of her IUD.
Yeah,
her birth control device.
Baby factories open for business,
and they're talking about starting a family, having a kid. Really heartwarming. She gets murdered, gets super dark and intense really fast, and then you're still like, I need to feel sad now. But then the movie's like,
no,
we're gonna have the silliest fucking scene in the entire movie.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have Deadpool like doing the butt towards the camera. Oops, like fucking thing.
Oh man! If for nothing else, you should watch the movie just for that.
It's absolutely glorious.
And then after that, we get a scene of Colossus coming to collect the scattered pieces of Wade Wilson, which then regrow.
Yeah.
And then Wade mopes around the X-Mansion for a little bit. We get a fantastic cameo of the X-Men. With a really, really self-aware little joke.
Yeah, like, because they poked a lot of fun that the studio couldn't.
Why is it always only you and Teenage Negasonic Warhead? Like, why can't the studio throw us a bone and
it's Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Shit. All right, this podcast is over. We're gonna try again.
Scrapping it. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
So yes, Negasonic. Yeah. Great.
Scorn. I scorn you. Yeah, him rolling around in Professor X's wheelchair.
That was fantastic.
I'm not ready to be touched yet. So good.
I said, not touch me.
and then him playing around with Cerebro was great. And then finally him getting like a high school gymnasium, because like when in the era where they stopped doing shirts versus skins. They gave you like the little jersey. The little
what was the word for that? I couldn't remember last time either.
I don't even remember. I think just a jersey.
No, there's a word for it. Penny. That's what.
A penny.
That's what my gym coach. Gym coach Nugent. Yes, that really was my gym coach's name.
Nugent.
Mr. Nugent.
Mr. Ted Nugent.
I think his name was Mike.
Yeah,
but they were definitely related.
Oh, for sure. And so he gets a little Bumblebee black and yellow style penny, X-Men penny, which he takes on a mission.
Good to be relevant.
Yeah, I know what the kids like. You were all about those shake weights and ShamWows. How's everybody's Tamagotchis doing? All right.
But yeah, so he wears his yellow penny as X-Men trainee.
Trainee. He's a trainee,
which he's reminded many times.
Yeah, I love it. And he shows up and then the major plot starts rolling. He meets Fire Fist.
Russell.
Russell. Yeah, thank you. Who is... And this was one of the
chubby New Zealand teenager.
I loved him. He was. I love. And they make. He's like, nobody wants a plus size superhero.
Have you ever seen a plus size superhero?
The industry.
There aren't any.
The industry discriminates. I'm like, yes. Preach. And they're one of the most fucked up parts of the movie that I think is kind of glossed over because the rest of the movie is so funny. So you don't think about it too much, is the Mutant Rehabilitation Center, which there's this really a bunch of really creepy white smocked individuals who are using. It's kind of like a pray away the gay.
You and your secret sex lips.
Yeah, you just. So it's kind of like a pray away the gay sort of style. Uber uber religious center that's like, it's like God doesn't want you to be alive because you shouldn't have these powers, and they just torturing all of the kids inside into rejecting their true nature and stuff like that, which is really messed up when you think about it. But you don't think about it too much, because then you see him burning people with his fire fist.
Yep. He's a particularly powerful character, actually.
Yeah, he's really.
Long story short, at first Wade tries to talk him down, and all the X-Men do, and then Wade says, "Fuck it, I'm done with this," and then he just starts shooting people in the head.
Yeah, he has a discussion with Russell, and he's like, "Are the people at this institution hurting you?" Because he sees like burn marks all over his neck, and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, all right. And he starts giving the same speech that Colossus gives at the end of the first Deadpool about, you only need 5 or 6 minutes to be hero. Yeah. And he just starts shooting some of the orderlies in the head.
Yeah, it's just murder.
It's so good.
And then he gets taken to the ice box, which is the mutant detention facility for dangerous mutants. And he and Russell are bonding despite Deadpool's best efforts not to.
Yeah.
Because they put these collars on them that take away their powers, and without his power, he's just a very ugly cancer patient.
He is, and when he doesn't have his powers, he's such a real person. Yeah. He's such a real character.
It also kind of reminds you how the thing about Deadpool is, and it's the same with Wolverine, but it's a little bit different, but with every time Deadpool's injured in battle, he feels it in all the pain that a normal person would feel. It's just his body recovers.
Yeah.
And so he has to be very self-sacrificial
he really
to really use his abilities.
Yeah, he really does laugh off a lot of it because like that's his MO. Humor is his defense mechanisms. It's how he distracts people. It's how he distracts himself. And so he gets even more darkly hilarious when he loses his powers because he is in constant pain because he's got stage 4 cancer.
And then so we get a lot of jokes. We get some prison yard rigmarole.
Yep.
And some butt shanks.
Black Tom
Cassidy.
Black Tom Cassidy.
The best part of that was he kept calling him Black the whole time, and he was clearly a white dude.
I know, he was like, I'm Black Tom. He's like, and then at the end he was like,
I'm White Wade Wilson.
And White Wade Wilson. And then after they get the shit kicked out of them, they're back in their cell later. It's like, I don't remember what happened, but it had something to do with an African American man. That was so good.
So then, while in the icebox, Cable comes back from the future, and
Marty. Great Scott. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. That's what this movie is.
Yeah. Oh, and also after a little foreshadowing, steaming bowl of foreshadowing that there's a big old monster man in the prison somewhere.
So when Cable comes back, he's going after. Deadpool thinks he's going after him, but he's actually going after Russell because Russell ends up growing up being a big old bad guy and murdering Cable's family.
Yep.
And you know what's interesting in this movie? They never tell you what Cable's real name is. He only goes by Cable.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
and I thought actually this was one of the moments in the movie that you're just like, no matter like whatever you thought of Wade beforehand, when you see him sacrificing life and limb with no powers to save this kid that he barely knows.
Yeah.
Like even though there's a crazy teched up dude from the future trying to kill him, and he's just beating him with like a lunch tray or something.
Yeah.
Like
that is a great scene because even though in the scene he says that he doesn't give a shit about the kid, it's obvious that he does.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And even though Russell hears him and reacts as if Wade doesn't care about him, it's very clear to us as the viewer that Wade did care about him the whole time.
Yeah.
So eventually Wade loses his collar.
Yeah.
And he and Cable go toe to toe, full power, mano a mano.
After he breaks his back in a very brutal fashion. Yeah. That image got really burned into my retinas. Him breaking his back on after he fell from 2 stories.
Yep. And then Russell, in desperation, contacts the big monster man held in isolation, and they make a plan to get out of the raft.
Out of the
out of the icebox. And Deadpool forms a super team, X-Force, to go rescue him from Cable.
X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
We're not X-Men? No, we're going to be progressive. You're not an X-Men, you're an X-People.
So, yes, they did a great job subverting a lot of expectations by featuring them in the
promos,
trailer,
and
then they kill them off with literally like 5, maybe 6 minutes of total screen time, which was awesome.
They've got like all 6 members of the X-Force team hopping out of the plane, and then one by one, they didn't account for high winds, so one by one they get murdered in fantastically brutal fashion. All except Domino, who I love the ongoing argument throughout the movies, is being lucky a superpower? It's not
Damn right it is.
Certainly not very cinematic. What asshole thought of that ability? Probably that somebody that can't draw feet.
Yeah, what lazy artist came up with that one?
And the artist that's responsible for what's his name? I'll think it'll come to me. The artist that created the
Jim Morita? Is that? Didn't you say that? You told
I
me the other day, and I'm pretty sure you said Jim Morita.
Maybe I can't remember. I'll look it up. And get back to you guys in a minute, but the guy that created her was notorious for not being able to draw feet.
So then, eventually, Cable joins up with them. Well, actually, that's not true. So, because Cable kind of devastated the icebox, they needed to transport the prisoners. That's when Russell and his friend used the opportunity to escape. Turns out his friend is the Juggernaut. Big reveal.
Great reveal.
And
I love whenever there's a huge reveal in any of these movies. I'm always like, whoa, and I look at you and you're just like, yeah, of course it was. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just fucking stupid then.
No, it's not that. It's just that I spend a lot of time, like, I delve the internet for everyone else's theories and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm coming up with all this myself. It's just that I've read enough different ones that, as each different little turn happens in the movie, I'm like, oh, this is the one that's most plausible.
Yeah.
So I'm not like I'm not a savant. I'm just, I just spend a lot of time.
Don't kid yourself, you're a savant. So, they first interact with Juggernaut, and he literally rips
Deadpool in half. Yep.
In spectacularly gory fashion. He gets piggybacked back to a hideout. They have the whole shirt cocking it scene.
Yes.
So good.
Baby balls.
Baby balls.
But you know what? We should have trademarked shirt cocking it, because you were doing way back way back in episode, I don't know, like 7 or something like that.
It's my MO now. That's straight up plagiarism. That's idea theft.
Yeah.
That's my mental property.
Ryan Reynolds, we're coming after you.
Intellectual property. I don't appreciate it, Ryan Reynolds. You've got a reckoning coming your way, and you're probably gonna get teabagged by T-Bone. That's the nickname I made up for myself right now.
It's T-Bone, and when we see you in court, we'll be shirt cocking it, and and they'll see how natural it is for us. They'll definitely give us our due.
We need a patent lawyer.
For sure.
Dear God.
But anyway, yeah, so in the movie, man, that was just so over the top, but awesome.
It was. But when he hops down off the couch to go shake
he's
Cable's
doing
hand,
it.
He's
doing it.
It's our little guy. He's making it. Just shirt cocking it.
Yep, so Deadpool has to grow back the entire bottom half of him, and he doesn't wear any pants while he does it. So you see his little baby legs, little baby balls, little baby wiener.
Little baby wiener. If he gets split laterally, like from forehead to gooch, do you think each half would grow back and equal Deadpool? Like a starfish?
I don't know. There's got to be... It's probably from some core point in his brain that it happens, right? Like, I would say so. Like, if that specific cell... If a very specific cell was split in half, maybe, but I mean, the level of split that we would have to talk about for one specific cell to be cut in half is probably over the top. So I think he'll always only grow back into one Deadpool because he grows back from one specific cell in his brain.
If there was two Deadpools, I think it would create a singularity and destroy the universe. Pretty sure.
So then Cable comes, they team up together with Domino.
Yeah.
And then he gets Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. What's...
Hi, Wade.
Yukio? Yukio?
Is it?
Hi, Yukio. I think her name's Yukio.
That sounds about right.
And
hi, Wade.
and then he boom boxes. In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, from Say Anything.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. To get, because Colossus totally
disowned him after the murder.
After he murdered the orderlies back at the rehabilitation center, he's like, he tackles him. He's like, I trusted you, and he's super mad, and he's trying not to forgive Wade, but and he doesn't in that scene. But he shows up when they finally do make it over to the rehabilitation center to stop Russell from killing the warden of the center.
Yep.
He gets a spike through the head.
Yeah.
And then Colossus appears above him like a chrome angel, picks him up, and he does the scissoring.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Motion. I was like, it's like they totally ripped
So
it off
good.
from the first movie where he gets stabbed in the head with a knife and he's flirting with Vanessa, but it's still really good.
It is good, and the fight between Colossus and Juggernaut was really, really great. It was really fun to watch.
And Colossus finally started fighting dirty, and some nasty scenes.
Oh man, I really want to see that again.
I do too.
I love when he gets the. It's so stupid, but I love when he gets the power cable shoved in his ass.
It's excellent.
Oh. So anyway, we're gonna round up the Deadpool 2 half of this podcast just by talking about the finale and the overarching theme of the movie, in which Deadpool ends up sacrificing himself for family.
Yes, for family. He ends up sacrificing himself. He puts the collar on himself, and he takes a bullet for the kid, quite literally. He opts for them not to take the collar off, and then he dies. He has a really tender moment with Vanessa in the afterlife, heaven, whatever, in which a really awesome acoustic version of Take On Me is playing in the background.
Yeah.
That was really... I loved that.
Yeah.
Is very tender. Is very beautiful. And then he gets sent back because Cable uses his
last time travel
charge to go back in time and put the coin from Deadpool and Vanessa's first date in his chest, the exact place where the bullet would hit, and he saves Deadpool in the interim, and so he gets to reunite with his family. He gets to see everybody there. The warden ends up getting run over by the cabbie.
Yeah.
Daffodil Daydream from the first movie. What's his name?
Dinesh? Is that what it is?
No, it's
Mohinder? No.
Dopinder.
Dopinder.
Yes. Dopinder. And Dopinder ends up killing the warden, and they all walk away. And Cable decides that he's gonna stick around a little bit to make sure the world doesn't get all screwy on him.
Yep. And it really,
because the future he comes from seems like a very bleak place.
Yes, it does.
And he talks about Deadpool's generation fucking the Earth into to pass the point of no return. And I was like, man, that's poignant.
Yep. So we kind of glossed over it, but the ending, it really was very well done.
Yeah.
It was meaningful. You really connect to all the characters. You feel like they have a connection between themselves. You feel like they've all become friends, even though the movie is so absurd. It all does feel kind of natural.
I had a moment of like, oh, like when Colossus did show up, because even though their relationship was like weird,
the friendship between the two of them is probably the best thing in the movie. It's
silly and it's all over the place, and when you see it, when they lay it all out on the line for you in the very end, you're just like, yeah, this really was there. I wasn't expecting this, and And like the whole kind of bro crush that he has on Colossus. Even though I would love it if he came to the MCU and continued with his notorious bro crush on Spider-Man from the comics. It's so good.
It would be a little weird because Spider-Man's so young.
He is. That would be weird.
So okay, that is the first half of this double feature podcast.
Then they immediately at the end of the movie in the post credit sequences they retconned Vanessa's death because he went back in time again.
Yep. They changed it and for the better, I think, because she's a good part of the movies.
I love her. And he also kills himself.
Yeah, he
twice.
murders the version of himself that was
From X-Men Origins.
Yes. And also he kills himself directly before signing the contract for Green Lantern.
Oh god.
Which is awesome. But all right. So
moving on.
That was the first part, and if we're going to get through the second part, we've got to dive into it. So, Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't know if I would say very good, but definitely fun.
It was really fun.
I walked out of the theater with a smile on my face.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much...
I got what I paid for.
Yeah,
like I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't angry. I don't feel like my expectations had been met, but it was still a blast to watch.
Yeah, I would have liked it if it was a little bit deeper.
What's the actor? I'm sorry, I was looking up the actor's name. Who played
Alden Ehrenreich?
Oh, yeah, Alden Ehrenreich, yeah.
He was not what I would consider, like... I don't think that this movie is ever going to launch him to A-list status, you know? I feel like he was kind of carried by the other actors in the movie a little bit.
Sure.
I didn't feel like he was a train wreck by any means.
No.
But I didn't feel a desire to really see him again. I hope that they make this a standalone Star Wars story. If we get some reoccurring characters in other films, like if we get Donald Glover back as Lando, that would be cool.
Fantastic. Like
if we get Kira back, that would be cool.
Kira was a great character. I'm sure she's going to be back. Lando and his android L9, I think.
L3?
Something.
It was L3.
It was L and a number. And I think they were both the standout performances of the entire movie for me.
I would agree. I thought that he did a great job playing Lando, especially young Lando, because the Lando that we meet way far along in Empire is definitely a little bit more world weary. Definitely the same character. You really feel like they're the same character, but you can tell that one is like, I'm not young anymore. It's time. You know what I mean? It's time to
stop taking risks.
Yeah, stop taking stupid risks and
sign up with the Empire.
Yeah,
betray my friends.
Well, initially he's not signed up with the Empire, but the whole thing where he obtains Cloud City.
Yes.
It's kind of seeing him going straight because he's responsible for all these other people. It's time for him to, be responsible. Time for him to, live a life with some consistency.
Yeah. And
you can see that character in the younger portrayal.
Yeah. And
you don't feel like they're two totally different characters.
No.
I really felt like they were one and the same person.
They did a lot of very fun tongue in cheek thing. They made fun of his obsession with capes.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Showing his cape wardrobe.
Yeah. And he puts the fire out with one. He's like,
no, that was a limited edition one or something like that.
Yeah, he says custom made.
It's custom made. And it was a little interesting and a little bit weird to watch the card playing sections, like, because you know that he wins the Falcon.
I loved that. I loved that he won by
hijacking his fake card.
Well, no. In the first one, everyone thought he was about to win the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. All the viewers, I'm sure.
Yep.
But then he doesn't. And then they give you that scene there at the end.
That was good. It was a little disconnect because, like, obviously we don't know how to play that weird alien game that they were playing, so we just had to take it. We just had to take
Sabacc.
it. Sabacc, yeah. We just had to take it.
So what's this game, Sabacc?
Sabacc, yeah. Han. What's your name, Han? I like that. I did love that part where he just seemed very dismissive of Solo the entire movie.
Yes, I felt like they had a pretty good rapport.
Oh yeah.
The writing for Han was pretty Han Solo. It's just, I just would have...
The delivery just...
Yeah, you know, I just...
There had been concerns about that all through production, that he wasn't a top-notch actor, and that he needed... These cats are so demanding. That throughout all of production, that he wasn't like the best possible actor they could have picked. That it was more for his... he looked like a young Han.
Yeah, he looked like a young Han, and in certain moments, you could really see that, but...
It was... Yeah, they were few and far between, because you could tell that he was really struggling.
He just... You don't feel like that actor has swagger. Like, if I met that actor, I feel like he would be kind of, like, unbecoming. Probably a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the same kind of swagger that Harrison Ford does.
I kind of got the I'm just happy to be here sort of impression from him. Which, again, I'm sure he's a swell dude, but guy needs some more acting lessons.
He just, you know, it's just like any other actor.
You got typecast.
Yeah, not all of your parts need to be the same, but the parts that you take need to suit your acting style.
For real.
You know?
For real.
So I just think that, I just think that they probably could have done better as far as that goes, but the writing was pretty solid. I thought the first act was kind of weak.
Yeah.
But once we ramped up into the adventure, it was really great.
Where the movie really hit its stride for me was the moment Chewbacca showed up.
I agree. I think that was the time when it hit its...
That was a great intro. There were parts of this movie that I was like, yes!
Yeah, Tracey whispered in my ear. He says, what did I say?
He gets dropped in the beast pit.
Yeah, but there was something before that, and I said, $20, this is... $20, something happens. I can't even remember.
I said 20... he gets dropped in the beast pit, I'm like, $20, this is Chewbacca.
No, but before that, in the beginning, very, very beginning of the movie, I said that to you. I said $20 that something happens, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it is. But then later, when he gets dropped into the beast pit, Tracey whispered in my ear, he's like, $20, it's Chewbacca. I was like, oh, yeah, you're totally right.
What did you...
I don't remember now.
What was it while they were still on the original planet where, like, he was...
Corellia?
Corellia, thank you.
I can't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come to me at some point, but basically... I don't remember. But there was a... We did get a cameo from Ron Howard's brother. And I tried to whisper that Tracey, and he was like, what? And I was like, never mind. What? Never mind.
I get very focused in on movies. I have a bad peripheral hearing. People are trying to tell me things. Like, I hate being that guy. Like, I always feel like I have to ask people to repeat themselves. Because
we shouldn't be talking in the movies anyway.
Yeah, we shouldn't. But you know that, like, where somebody's trying to tell you something and you don't want to ask them for like a third or fourth time to repeat themselves, so you just nod.
Yep.
And I get that way a lot. Like, when people are like, Tracey, and I'm like, oh, hi, I'm a bit of a space cadet sometimes.
But anyway, so yeah, Tracey saw the Chewbacca thing coming, and it was a great reveal. And I would agree with you that was the moment that the movie really ramped up.
It hit its stride. Yeah, and then the immediately after escaping with the other kind of...
The crew.
The
Woody
crew.
Harrelson crew.
Yeah, and
Beckett.
And
Tobias Beckett is
Tobias
his name.
Beckett and his woman. Was she the one from Westworld, right?
She is. She plays Maeve in Westworld. I don't remember what her name was in this movie.
No, me either.
And
What's the actress?
That escapes me as well.
I'll look it up. You talk for a second. Talk about the train scene, because the train heist scene was really cool.
Okay, so there was a few things. The train heist scene was really well done. The pacing of it and the physics of it were pretty exciting. They definitely...
Thandie Newton,
that's right.
Thandie Newton, she's a fantastic actress.
Very much so. But I really like that they killed off a few characters there, made it feel like there were stakes.
Yeah.
They set you up early, kind of being like, yeah, we just introduced you to these guys, and we just were getting you to like them.
Yeah, I was surprised how effective they were at getting me to care about the two characters, that the CGI dude and Thandy's character. I was like, oh, like I had seen them sticking around for a while, and they both had very strong personalities, and when they went, I was like, damn.
They did a good job for a couple reasons. I think it was really important to the plot. First of all, they get you to like them by making them not like Solo, who's like you're into that world. So
Yeah.
first they don't like him, and then he achieves their respect a little bit, and they start to like him. So then that's kind of a very natural.
I did think it was funny though when he did climb up to when their pilot got shot, and he did climb up to try to save the vessel. He had been like piloting the vessel for about a minute, and all he had done is stabilize it and make it fly straight, and then the CGI guy was like, man, you were right, you're a hell of a pilot. And I'm like,
yeah.
He flew straight.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Yeah.
But so that's a very natural human cycle of connection, being scorned and then accepted.
Yeah.
That brings you a lot closer to someone than if they're just like, hey, you're my friend. You know what I mean? So they did a good job with that. They did a good job killing them off which creates stakes in the movie. It makes the viewer feel like anyone could go at any time.
Yeah.
And it also creates a hole in Beckett's life.
Yeah.
If those characters stayed around, he would have had much less of a connection to Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah, because they're the only ones left.
Yeah.
He was pretty forgiving with them. I would have been really mad with the two of them if I was him, because
For blowing up the cargo?
I feel like he was very okay with what had happened very quickly, and he's like, all right, well, you're the only people I have left. I feel like he would have projected like his own anger and blamed them.
Well, the only thing that I'll say about that is maybe that would be true, but he's also been in this life for a while. He's probably had a lot of friends go over the years, he probably is like pretty familiar with loss.
That's fair, yeah.
So anyway, then they go to the Crimson Dawn, and I forget what's Paul Bettany's character's name again.
Crap, I can't remember. Should I look it up?
You can look it up if you want. So they return to Crimson Dawn and make a deal, and with Paul Bettany, whose face is kind of his face kind of gives you some foreshadowing for something later. But he's a little bit crazy, little bit crazy. And
Dryden Voss?
Yeah, Dryden Voss.
Dryden
that's right.
Voss, oh, okay.
He then allows Beckett and Solo to try to make it up to him by retrieving some unrefined coaxium.
Yes, and he sends Kier with him to make sure that they do everything correctly.
The only thing that I thought about that was like not really the smartest play was that everyone knows that she's connected to the Crimson Dawn, and if the whole thing was that they could send Beckett and Solo because no one knows that they're connected to Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, why would they send her?
Why would they send her along and like make it a clear connection?
Oh, you're Dryden's second in command. Like,
Yeah.
why are you here?
That was really... I thought that was like a huge plot hole.
Yeah.
But they just wanted to send her along.
So they could have that romantic tension.
I feel like if they sent her along, that would have been fine. It's just that she shouldn't have played such a public role. Like, she went into the casino where Sabak was being played. She went into the Kessel mines. Like, she was very much a face along. So, like, they should know that Crimson Dawn was connected.
Well, anyway. And she was like, yeah, she the way that she held herself, the way that she dressed, she kind of stood out.
And she stood out, plus she's a very beautiful woman, so she's... Anyway...
Yeah.
Quick plot hole.
Yeah, I did love. She's a fantastic actor. I loved her portrayal as a girl who grew up with nothing and she finally found a way out, but it's not necessarily doing the best things. Like she had to really struggle and she had to compromise herself to kind of getting off Corellia, and she said that scene where they were in the Cape Room, and she said, you don't know what I've done. You wouldn't be looking at me the way that you're looking at me now if you'd known what I'd become to be here. And that hit me really hard. Like, wow, what a tough life under the thumb of the Empire that like a lot of people are subjected to.
Yeah, the Empire is. That's the thing. The Empire, at this stage of the story, I thought they did a really pretty good job of saying, this is how things are right now because of these other things that have happened. So once the Empire takes over for the Republic, they're so focused on their political strength that all of these big-time gangsters, these big-time intergalactic criminals are able to sort of run wild.
Really thrive, yeah.
Yeah, because the Empire's not worried about keeping them in check.
I like that because you the original trilogy and even the prequel trilogy were very big picture sort of things, and you don't. That's why I like these Star Wars stories so much, because you don't get to see what havoc is wrought and what kind of environment, like geopolitical, social environment that the Empire causes in the rest of the galaxy. You don't get those like more intimate storylines. I really loved when he's walking through the Corellian spaceport, and you see all of the propaganda for the join the Empire, and you hear like you hear kind of like the militarized version of the Empire's
that's cool.
Imperial March playing in the background. I was like, oh, that's really
They
cool.
did some cool stuff with the theme music for this movie.
Yeah, and I like that they showed the Empire as, they always show the Empire as like they think they're doing the right thing. Like there's obviously sinister intentions behind everything, but the people that are like the higher up ranks are like, we are bringing order to this galaxy. And I'm like, oh wow, that's cool.
And I thought that the scene on Kessel was pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
I thought pretty much rounding out the movie was a lot of fun. The flight through the, what did they call it? The maelstrom was pretty cool. The space creature was pretty cool.
Yeah. Watching the Imperial Starship.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing
when the Star Destroyer comes in through the channel, that was really cool shot.
So here's a thing. Cool. Here's a thing that I'd considered, because this has been made fun, because like the second act of the movie was about them making the Kessel Run, and which is like a famous Star Wars trope, a famous like thing, something that everybody quotes and everybody talks about and makes fun of, because he talks about making the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, and people always made fun of that because a parsec is a unit of distance instead of a unit of time. I know they made fun of that in like the Family Guy spoof and in the Robot Chicken spoof and everything else. So they kind of covered that by
sort of. I wouldn't say they covered it, but they definitely
they gave more of an more credibility to the statement, because they created the maelstrom, which obviously you had to enter it through one specific channel. So they reduced the amount of distance that they had to cover by like just following the hypotenuse of the triangle instead of going all the way around through the channel. So there's like, oh yeah, we're cutting through the maelstrom, so they did it in 12 parsecs instead of 20.
They still kind of acted in this movie as if it was a unit of time.
Kind of.
But you could say that it... I see what you're saying, and I think they did a good job with that, too.
They sort of covered its bases.
Yeah, pretty much. But, so then we get to... We get back to the refinery.
Yeah.
And I liked everything that happened there. I liked that... the Marauders came back. I liked how they were a recurring theme. I liked that. There's one more plot hole personally that I feel.
Yeah.
There is. I know. I'm like, damn, I do that too much.
No, it's fine, man. I'm trying to improve. Like, I'm trying to stop with the likes and the ums.
So I will try and stop tongue clicking.
I like to try to stop doing this.
Yeah. So. There's a few things I want to say about the finale. First of all, I liked almost everything that happened. I liked all of the characters' sort of finales. I liked all of the characters' arcs. One thing I didn't like was making the lead marauder a little girl.
Oh, I thought it was cool.
It was so stupid. I mean, like...
I liked that reveal.
If she had been, like, a badass woman, that would have been great. But she literally... That girl must be, like, 16. She must be 16.
I couldn't tell her age. I thought it was very cool Metroid Samus kind of reveal because she had the voice modulator, which made gave her the scary voice.
If she had just been a little more world weary of a woman, I would have been totally fine with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, to make a 16-year-old girl that intense of a character, it just didn't work for me. You know, she looked too young. That's the thing.
You need to watch more anime, my friend. Could all of the main characters in any anime are 14.
I know, but
Just kidding.
It's true, but the thing that I feel about it is just that she looked. Maybe this is just because we've been watching Arrested Development, but she kind of reminded me of Maybe.
Yeah.
And that just kind of took me out of it.
Maybe Funke. Yeah, she did a little bit.
She just looked too young.
Got them nose freckles.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, if she had been a woman, it would have been perfectly fine. It's the same. If the reveal was that it was like a 15, 16-year-old boy, it would not have worked for me either.
Okay.
So it's not a gender thing. It's just an age thing.
Yeah.
It's just, why would these people choose such a young kid to be their... I liked the idea that the reveal was that it was a woman.
Yeah.
But I just thought that they've already got a young, strong female lead in the regular Star Wars universe. They had a young, strong female lead in Rogue One. I just thought that they're trying to push it, and they just picked someone who looked too young and too clean.
And Kira was definitely a strong young
Yeah,
female.
I would say so too, but I think that she looked young, her face was too fresh, she looked very clean, her hair looked very clean. It just didn't work for me.
Okay. I can understand that.
So then the other thing that I didn't like, real quick, was quick plot hole with Tobias Beckett. After all the interplay, why wouldn't he just say, hey, I've got a gun, I've got a debt with the Crimson Dawn, and I have what will pay off that debt. He'd already betrayed Solo, so just say, hey, we got the coaxium here, keep it. I still got my gun trained on Solo. All my debts are good, right? I got a lot of money. I can retire, right? Okay, cool. He could have just done that, and he would have been flying.
I know.
I don't understand why.
So much flip flopping.
Why he was selling the coaxium for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he would have been set up for life.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he would betray Crimson Dawn and keep the coaxium, because that just means he has to find another seller. It means he still has a price on his head. It means that how much more could he possibly get for it? If you're already set for life, you want to be double set for life? That made no sense. I know that because plot, but it just, I didn't in the movie, it wasn't something that I, noticed after rewatching a few times, saying, hey, wait a minute. It was something I noticed in that moment. I just didn't get it. I was like, why?
There was like a little bit of like mental disconnect there with I'm on your side. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I think it would have been like the double cross, the cross, the double cross, the triple cross.
I liked that there was a lot of double crossing going on. I loved how Lando took off and left him there.
Yes, that was hilarious, and that made sense.
Yeah,
but this betrayal,
and the betrayal where Tobias Beckett originally betrays Solo and tells Voss.
Yeah.
That made sense too. All of Kira's betrayals made sense. I really liked that she did end up betraying him. She didn't betray him because she let him walk free. Like, you could tell that she did love him, but you could also... I liked that she was looking out for herself, number one.
Yeah.
So I liked her. I liked her arc. I even really liked Solo's arc. I love how he shot first. And that was great. That was great. They did such a good job of showing you how Han Solo becomes who he is. Mm-hmm. I totally thought that was awesome. And I really liked everything except for the leader of the Marauders being too young, and I didn't like that Tobias had his like fourth double cross at the very end.
Yeah, it was...
You know, if they could have found another way to do that and made the plot run, I would have appreciated it, because that particular way, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he made up his mind so quickly, and then so not quickly, and then how about the big reveal at the end?
Darth Maul.
Darth fucking Maul.
Nice.
Pulling the string like that. So that was a cool thing, because Kira had just kind of been there. She'd shown some proficiency with a blaster, so it seemed like she'd spent more time. She'd done more than in the meantime than just being armed, like somebody to hang off somebody, and be more than eye candy.
Yeah.
Because that's what you think, like when she first shows up, you assume like, oh, she's just his boss's concubine or something like that. But then you see her proficiency in debating and haggling and politics, and then you see her proficiency with weapons handling, and then eventually she like gets the blade out and she starts kicking ass with like the spear thing, and I'm like, that struck me, and I'm like, man, she knows how to do a lot of things, and then it all makes sense at the end. She is. Do you think she's an underling or like a Padawan?
No, I don't.
Darth Maul, or just...
No, I don't think Tobias Voss. What's his name?
Voss.
Yeah, I don't think that Voss was a Sith apprentice, or I guess there are no more. Well, at this time
Sith.
there are Sith because
Order 66 hasn't happened yet.
it has.
It
has, but there's no more. There's still Sith because Darth Vader is a Sith.
Yes.
And because the Emperor is a Sith.
Yes.
But I don't think that Voss is a Sith, and I don't think that Kira is a Sith. I think that they are just gangsters. I think that's all it is, and I think that they did a really good job of kind of... I thought they did a great job of setting up Han Solo as being a presence in the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
Now everyone's familiar with him. The Crimson Dawn is familiar with him. He's part of that. He's ancillary to that. He is who he is. He's still kind of a good guy, but he's very world weary because he's seen that there's no one really looking out for you except yourself in this great universe. And
right.
I think that she's just going to be a big-time gangster, and I have a strong suspicion that she will definitely make an appearance in the Obi-Wan standalone film as well.
She's got to stick around. Like, I don't see Han Solo playing a huge part in any future Star Wars story.
I think that it would be wise of them not to bring him back. Because he can't know Obi-Wan, and because they don't meet until the Tatooines.
Does Rogue One take place after Solo?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, definitely.
So, I think that they'll have... I think that Obi-Wan will become involved with, for some reason, the criminal underbelly of Tatooine, and then by connection, he will become involved with the Crimson Dawn, and he will have to have another end battle with Darth Maul.
That would be so epic. Yeah. I would love to see that.
I think so. I think I would really like to see some more character development between the two, because at the end of the first one, it's like a very, very cliched story arc. Bad guy kills the master, the apprentice kills the bad guy. You know what I mean? There was no character development with that. It just... The fight scene was super crazy choreographed, and I enjoyed it immensely as a 9-year-old, but it just doesn't really hold up to rewatching, because...
Darth Maul is a very cool character, and definitely one of the highlights of Phantom Menace, but he didn't have much of a personality other than, like, angry.
Yeah, other than bad guy.
Menacing.
Yeah.
I am a menacing...
Phantom Menace.
I am a phantom... Oh. See what you did there.
Anyway, so I really enjoyed the film. The little things I definitely can get past. It's not my favorite entry in the Star Wars universe.
No.
But it definitely is something that I will be able to rewatch without, cringing or anything like that. And
yeah,
it gives me a little bit of hope for more Star Wars along the way.
A New Hope? Can't wait to see how you strike back at me for that pun.
You just wait for my return of the Jedi.
Did it?
Yep, that was a floppy fish 5.
No, the floppy fish. That's all that deserved.
Okay, so thanks for listening, guys.
We're going to end it here before that deteriorates any further.
Yep.
Once again, Viva La Frank with a 3 at the end. If you guys want to check out my the work on any art projects.
There's a fly literally like circling your head.
I know. He just couldn't wait to hear what I had to say about my exciting new artwork and stuff. And here's Max to talk about maxdean.org at maxdean.org.
My name is maxdean.org, and I want to tell you a little bit about my website.
maxdean.org.
So, no, you guys already know about the website. Check it out.
I don't think they do. I don't think we went over it in enough detail.
What I do want to go over real quick, just one last time, is if you guys enjoy our podcast, or if there is anything that you want to, bring to it, to mention about it, please send us an email at maxwelldean@maxdean.org, because it will get to both of us.
Yeah.
Tracy will know what you say, because I will tell him.
Yeah, he will.
I might even show him the email.
What? I can use the computer again?
So we would love to hear what you think. We would love to read aloud, like a letter, so to speak, if you have something you'd like for our viewers, listeners.
Give us the chance for that tasty interaction. We want that fan interaction, baby.
Yep. So yep. And real quick, one last time, or for the first time since I didn't say it before, next week we are going to review Fanfortastic.
Yes, we will.
Yes,
Next
we will.
week.
Next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Yeah.